There's the doodles. Starting off with Cat Cam. Woo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blue Mondays. I'm Mac Paladin. And let's just get right to it before I Gina Carano myself. Isn't that right, doodles? Isn't that right, dudes? Has earned. Doodles. Doodle doo. Yes, Mama. All right, kids. So I'm here, just waiting for Shadows Miss to join us in voice. I'm sure she's in game and running her stream as she BS'd it out. do, 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 do.
Hello.
Hello. Got here just in time before I Gina Carano'd myself.
Well, I am in fact live as well. I'm just getting into the action here. Into City of Heroes, I've got it booted up.
I got into it with my community manager at my apartment complex today by using the. I invoked Godwin's law to remind her that just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's okay.
Oh my.
Yeah, the point was that lazy injustice oftentimes escalates into other things. And so
Indeed.
it doesn't mean that, you know, I compare myself to groups of people who have been mass murdered. It means that people can justify any atrocity by declaring it legal. So whether it's something petty like not changing your paperwork when you add fees and fines to your policy, that's on the lazy end of the spectrum, not the mass atrocity end of the spectrum. You know? But it's hard to have a nuanced argument when you're in the heat of the moment.
True enough. Also, it very much depends on who your debating partner is.
Well, you know, in the one-legged ass, you know, when you're debating the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. So yeah, you know, I'm sorry, why do you toe this corporate line for 50, 60K a year? Barely $2 an hour above state minimum wage. You know?
It's a job in this economy? I don't know.
Not a very good one. Being miserable to other people for pay. There's a special place in heck for people like that. Heck being the lesser hell that I've inserted into Pink Panty's Paradise. You know, that's for people who put the roll of toilet paper on backwards and constantly make dad jokes as if they're Shakespearean wit. Same level, same energy.
I see.
Yeah.
That's over here.
That's really where I was going with that, but of course, you know, I'll probably end up on Tizzyent at some point.
Of course.
One day, one way, my Gen X ass will get up on his radar.
So I'm just over by the big statue in the middle of the zone,
Roidu.
taking care of some outcasts here.
You seem to be croaking.
Slightly. I am definitely taking a beating. We are now going to wait for my health to come back. Then we're going to go take on the guys who are white and not orange.
So yeah, in the end, we do understand that the pipeline from a comma out of place on a legal document, to say Gaza, is a long curve. It's not a straight line, and it's not a quick hop. There's lots of steps in between.
Yeah.
You know, that's the nuance, if such a thing could be applied.
So what exactly brought this conversation about?
Oh, they're trying to charge $25 extra for quote-unquote hand-delivering a document, which I went to the office to collect. Now, their letter expressly said that this was a hand delivery fee, and I said, by me coming and collecting it, it negates the premium value of charging me a fee for hand delivering it to my door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wasn't convenient.
Yeah. And then they had the temerity to hand me a 5-day notice, which is inaccurate. It's a form downloaded off of a government website. And their actual policy is that I have up to noon on the 15th If that doesn't fall on a weekend, it's the Friday before. Like if it's on Sunday, then I have to have it by the 13th. But the bottom line is that handing me a 5-day notice on the 6th means that it's technically legally due by the 11th with all associated penalties. And then after that, they will file court, which is also not a legally correct term, but let's not get into the minutia of it. So on the form, it says that I owe a $50 one-day late fee, $5 daily from the 7th onward, no mention of a final date, and no mention of the $20 to $5 premium. We generated this form, therefore it's considered delivered, which I would argue the legal efficacy of. And and I'm just like, look, just because, they made the same argument about slavery. They said it was legal, so therefore it was okay, and it's not okay.
Right.
Being lazy is not okay. And that's what this is. This is corporate laziness on the part of your company, that they don't want to add a line item to a spreadsheet that auto-populates to these forms.
Right.
And that's the bottom line. It's corporate laziness. Tell them they need to add it in for clarity. Oh, well, you were the only person to complain about it. Yes, because unlike everybody else in this complex, I'm not afraid of you. And I made that point. I said, unlike everybody else around here, I'm not afraid of you. Because if you pressed the issue, I would take it not just to the city courts who will universally rule against me. I will take it to the state Supreme Court. I will take it to the appellate court. I will take it to the Supreme Court if necessary. If you tried to evict me or take any retaliatory action against me for pointing out that you're being dicks, which is my only point. You're being dicks, not you're Nazis. You're not, Hezbollah or something like that. You're just dicks.
Hey Riker, sure, that would be great if you want to pop on. Maybe,
But sometimes the only way to get the point across is to say something utterly shocking and nonsensical.
Right.
And as long as
now they're listening.
Yeah, as long as I frame it like that, then I'm not Gina Carano, who did not make any distinction whatsoever between a minor inconvenience and Hitler. I gotta give the Bill Burr over-explaining situation in order to get there. It's just absolutely cuckoo. It's like at what point do we say enough injustice? Do we have to wait until it escalates that far before we finally say, oh yeah, it's not a good situation? What is the final breaking point? Is it when people start getting mass incarcerated, or is it when we start, executing people for not paying their taxes? At what point is too far?
Who do we want for you? Maybe.
And this is also prescient because now Trump is withholding
Storm Kitty.
He's now withholding he's pocket vetoing the housing bill, trying to force the Save America Act through.
Oh yeah, right. That's that thing.
Yeah, which even his own party is like, well, fuck that. We're not passing that.
Yeah.
And they can't force it through. They don't have the votes to break the filibuster.
Right.
They don't have the votes for cloture. And It's not a reconciliation item, so they can't shove it into a budget bill because the parliamentarian would tell them no. So they're basically paralyzed. And this is exactly what you want to do when you're trying to convince people that you need to win the midterm elections for the sanctity of America, is by doing dastardly deeds and sabotaging your own party. because the housing bill was a largely Republican bill that got a few Democratic signers on it that said, yeah, this is not a bad idea.
Right.
And now they don't have the votes for a veto override. Does Ouroboros go to Skyway? I think it does.
No, I don't think so.
I thought
Does
it?
it?
Does it? Or does it go? Or is it just like straight from Atlas to Independence Port? I guess we'll find out.
I don't know.
I know it doesn't have a place in Steel Canyon.
No. But I'm over in Skyway right now. So.
Right. That's why I was like, damn it. Well, the Atlas Park Ouroboros is closer to the monorail. I was in the middle of Blythe Square, so both transits were kind of far away. But yeah, it's just little stuff, paperwork. This, the legal twists and turns you're dealing with, we'll call them significant inconveniences.
Side quests.
Yeah, exactly. At what point do side quests escalate to the point to where people finally are mad enough to do something about it? Why does it always have to escalate into some ridiculous extreme before we do something about injustice?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it always have to get twisted before we finally do something? Before we finally do the right thing as a species? Because it's not just the United States. It's not just Canada. It's not Mexico. It's not...
Oh, no, it happens everywhere.
Yeah. Is the mission on the north or south? Well, I don't see...
It's kind of wherever.
It's not set. There we go. Oh, you're defeating trolls.
Yeah, in Skyway. That's why I was just like, while you were talking, I was just handling it.
Yeah. Again, not trying to alienate people or anything like that. I'm making a point about the human condition in general. It's like, at what point are the bread and circuses not enough? As Captain Picard once said, when does it become wrong? 1, 10, 100, a million?
Coming back. Not.
And another philosophical ideal is the loss of even one of us diminishes all of us. That kind of thing. Because justice is justice.
I got murdered on the way to getting to you. Hooray.
Huh.
So do you actually recognize that quote where it's from?
Which one now?
Sometimes I'm alone, sometimes I'm not. Honestly, I'm not thinking about it right now.
No, I missed
It's a
it.
cat quote.
It's a what?
It's the cat quote.
Sorry.
Sadness. Sadness and sorrow.
I'm ending up having to fight friggin' clockwork instead of what I'm looking for.
So yeah, I figured I'd get all this Tizzy Ent trouble out of my system before I actually go back out to drive again.
Yeah. Well, better out than in, so
better out than in, I always say.
Well, when it comes to the vitriol, yeah, you gotta drain that pus-filled wound. It's generally how the best way to heal is to get rid of the infected material. In this case, the irritation.
Well, having a Futurama moment, where it's like, yes, you are technically correct, and as we all know, technically correct is the best kind of correct. Um,
Well, I'm done here, so
where are they sending us?
let's see where they. We can either go back to Steel Canyon and talk to the security chief, or destroy Clockwork on the rooftops of Steel Canyon. One way or another, Steel Canyon.
You do whatever you want. I'm here for the ride.
Well, that's what I said. Like, it's Steel Canyon, one way or another, because that's all I got right now.
Well, then I guess that's a where we're gonna go.
Oh. Well, if you go to the north one, you're right by the security chief, so.
Alright. Spacebar was not working. You know what? There is something more positive. I sent you the link, but the new Starship Moonhawk website is alive.
Yes, you did send me that.
And we're starting over again. Ish.
Sort of.
You said north side?
Yeah, it wants to go to Boomtown. So, yeah,
Yippee.
north is where Boomtown's entrance is.
So for those of you not aware, domain/porch pirates came and stole starshipmoonhawk.com last year in November. And I promptly bought starshipmoonhawk.org and put starshipmoonhawk.com on back order because it's probably bots, because all they set up was a crappy placeholder sports betting blog. Like, not even... Oh my god. Not even a real website that would try to steal my intellectual property as SEO thievery or something like that. They're literally just parking on the domain with unrelated materials. There's a whole process. You want to talk about, once again, how far do I want to go for semantics? What hill do I want to die on? It's like, do I want to go through the legal process of invoking a common law trademark to recover my domain? It's like, well, how much legal effort is that?
Right.
You know? Which I could do, but this goes back to me. This goes back. By the way, I've cut off the Google bot cold turkey. I'm not talking to the bot anymore.
Okay.
I got a lecture from a fellow freelancer that was like, "Yeah, don't share anything with the bot," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." It wasn't even a decision. It wasn't even a choice. It was like, okay, you don't want to associate with me because I did that, then we just won't do that anymore. It's not a decision. It wasn't agonizing. There was no thought process behind. Well, no, it was just, yeah, I'm just going to delete all this. Even got rid of my PixAI account.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
it's not. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I apparently hated on AI hard enough in a survey to get picked for a research project.
I still maintain.
So that happened.
I still maintain that in some areas that it's whatever the next evolution of this technology is going to be the future, not what we have right now. What we have right now is garbage. But I think the idea of the children of the brilliance of humankind is going to be the future, not whatever we got going on right now. And as
whatever we got going on now is kind of,
you know, it's sycophantic. It's harmful psychologically to have
harmful environmentally.
See, that's a minor problem. I would say that the psychological damage is more of a long-term problem, because if that doesn't change, so if they fix the environmental problems by coming up with new alternative energy sources and better methods of cooling.
Oh, it's just adding to the ticks against the use in its current form. Like, I mean, I have other arguments. I'm not going to get into it because this would just turn into an AI hate rant.
Right.
But
which is okay. It might actually score you points with the viewers.
Possibly.
But
yeah, I have many reasons from objecting on it in its use in its current iteration, in its current development. I have a lot of I can see, and I will say this, I will concede this much, as I can see in some applications where AI could be useful to a certain individuals who need that, might need assistance in certain areas, and
I'll list
I
some
myself have been forced to use it for some applications.
You don't have to hedge on this. For medical transcription, for developing a corporate flow chart, for putting together raw information into one spot in a pinch, it's great. But as a sounding board, developing art, making film, doing anything creative, it has no soul. It's on that side of things, it's a theft machine. And I would argue against when it's like pure mathematics and access to the main portion of human knowledge and history, it's a great tool. It's when you start asking it deeper philosophical questions that you get into the weeds. And that's very nice.
Big fact. Things still very.
That's for damn sure.
Oh hell no! But it's like it gets the even, you get
More patrol. You have to specifically go to the damn rooftops to get them. Speaking of the AI betraying us.
Maybe that's part of it. Yes, I did. I stopped, and then a bunch of purples. Just fucking tooled me in 3 fireballs.
Whoops. Here, let me, well...
I'm at the hospital now.
Go to the opposite east-west side of Steel Canyon, because that's where the clockwork are on the roofs at a level we can manage. So if you go to the opposite side from the hospital, because that's on the extreme southwest corner, I think. So if you go to, like, the southeast quadrant.
Here's some right here by the hospital that are blues, so they should be okay.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, like that whole southern area.
Yeah, it's usually not bad here, and there's almost always clockwork on all the buildings going over to the university.
Yeah, they specifically want you to nail them on the rooftops. That's all.
Yeah, but they're all on top of the roofs.
Yep. Well, sometimes they're in the back alleys.
Is that one still alive? Oh, it totally is. It's a Tesla night.
I'm coming closer to you.
I should just keep forgetting I have that.
Yeah, my unfortunate situation, why this keeps
Ow!
coming up during streams and stuff, is because even though I'm not obligated to use it, it is a facet of my side of the industry as well. You know, so you're in the corporate collegiate level where they force you to use it, and I'm in the trenches over here on the I have to look at it as competition. So even if I have severe moral objections against it, I still have to consider it because capitalism.
There's the cogs you need right back there. They're orange, but 3 of us should be able to take them.
Yeah, if the 3 of us want to take them together, then yes.
Oops, I jumped off the roof. So yeah, it keeps coming up because it's all over the place and it's in my face.
Well, that's another thing that really pisses me off about it is that it is in your face at all times. It's on top of here. It's constantly being crammed down your throat.
Right.
Like no matter what, and that is just fuck off. I say that about religion. I'll say that about this.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Oh, and that's a totally reasonable response. You'll never hear me argue against it.
And like today I tried to use an AI from like Canva or one of the other AI programs to do mock-ups for t-shirts. I spent an hour fucking around with this thing, hallucinating, because I had the logo, and my supervisor's like, try using the AI for this. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I did, and it took me an hour to basically come up to with the conclusion that it was faster, safer, and better to just get a template and do it myself in Photoshop. That's what I ended up doing.
And that's and that's where I ended up too.
Beautifully.
Yeah, and that's where I ended up too, because I'm like, is anything that this thing is doing? Because I used to use Canva to make schedules for my streams and stuff, because for like a hot minute everybody was doing it, and now I've noticed that like nobody's doing it. I don't know if you've seen this, but like all of those generic looking, you know, split screen schedules and stuff have started disappearing.
Yep.
And I thought about it, and I was like, aside from saving myself, and I smirked at this, and I like, how much time was I actually saving? And was I spending 10 hours in PixAI creating references that I could have found faster on Google?
Well, that's the thing is like I have found is like it is generally speaking.
Oh shit! Where's Storm Kitty?
Far, right there. Right here.
Hold on! Don't get up! I got you. I thought I was close enough that my healing aura was coming along, but apparently it was not.
But like, you know, it is generally faster, easier, and better for me to just do the work than to mess around with trying to make a computer do it. It's wrong. It's wrong every single time, and it's infuriating. And it's like, why? Why did I waste my time trying to kit bash this together when I could have just done it the old way and been done by now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, if it's going to be a useful tool, it needs to help me actually do it faster, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that's why I said, you
It
know,
just
if you want to
does it shittier, worse, and I have to sit there and fix the stupid thing. Like my coworker was also forced at one point to use this thing for this magazine that they're doing to generate this illustration. And of course they're coming back with changes. And what is one of the things the AIs is worse at is doing things with like basically illustration changes, like where you have to make subtle changes, keep most of it, but make subtle changes. and then it's still doing it wrong. Like it's like making the it had blueberries on it. It made the blueberries look mutated. Okay, the blueberries
Oh,
look
I've
mutated.
heard about this. This is actually a thing. This is actually a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
The
not
blueberries. It can't do blueberries. Okay.
I hear much artist rage.
You know what? I'm
Let it
trying
out.
to encourage Miss to vent about this because she needs to get it off of her chest. I think you should totally let this out so that way you have some catharsis. To you know, it's like I don't do this by choice, folks. You know, and even like I said, if you want to turn a dishwasher into a flamethrower by replacing its heating coil, AI is your guy. From an engineering standpoint, it's great at those kinds of hallucinations of absolute batshit insanity. But when it comes to, you know, curing cancer, it's not going to do it. Not in its current form.
Oh hell no!
Because it's just a mindless programming zombie that doesn't even remember what you talked about yesterday. If you close the window.
Sometimes it does, and it sometimes does. It depends on what AI you're using, but sometimes some of them will fucking remember stuff, and it can freak you out when it happens.
Well, I definitely can't do
but-
ChatGPT because anything I say, even if it's publicly accessible. So I will talk about my series if it's publicly accessible information, like stuff that has been on the website for years.
Yeah.
It can just go out and steal that information anyway. I can't lose copyright because of that, regardless of what the stupid copyright office in the United States says. It's like, I can't lose copyright because of stuff I put out in the public's eye. That means it's already published in fixed form. Okay? So if they steal it for scrapping, they're the ones breaking the law, not me. But
And
if
that's
you've got an
the other
unfinished
moral thing.
if you've got an unfinished manuscript, do not feed it to the bot. Because it will scrap it into its database, flag it for human review, whatever, and then according to their terms of service, they can do whatever they want with it. And that's insane.
Yeah, I'm not. Forget it. It is no.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of the things that I have an instance the university that I work at pays for because they pay for it. Don't ask me why, but like apparently I have access to it. And I've had to use it for basically accessibility compliance.
Okay.
So there are particular codes, different contrast values and stuff that you need to adhere to for accessibility compliance. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For accessibility compliance in both print and on the web. And doing this manually by hand is a pain in the ass. Like trying to judge, like, is this color contrast enough? I think it is, but is it really?
And the bot can see the difference.
Tell you.
Yeah, the bot can see the
computer
difference.
can tell you. Yeah, so for the purposes of accessibility compliance, I will concede that it is actually easier to have the bot say, yes, this is accessibility compliant, or no, it is not.
Yeah, little stuff like that.
Fine.
If it's engineering or logistics problems, it's great. If it's creative, philosophical, legal, whatever, take it with a grain of salt at best, because it's nuts.
Yep.
It's absolutely nuts. I said something about my citation and the city courts to Google Gemini, and it started giving me this screen about, do you want me to write a script for you about what to say to the clerk? And I'm like, no, because I've said that stuff before and it didn't work. Oh, you're right to call me out for that. Totally my bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the fuck? Like, if I want to get bad advice, I can go to the homeless person on the street, okay?
Yeah, I can
Like,
go
I
to the
don't
meth
need to
addict behind the
pay a bunch
dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't need this. I do not need this in my life. I really fucking don't.
You know, I have that Judge from My Cousin Vinny moment where it's like, are you on drugs?
Yeah.
You know? It's like, how do people think this is useful? And I realized something. I realized that the people that think that this is most useful are people who are too stupid to know better. and I hate to be a basket of deplorables kind of guy, but my IQ is way too high for me to just accept that as, oh, well, it's within the margin of error. You know, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it. If it is going to be a tool that actually is effective, it needs to be effective. And right now, it is so riddled, full of bugs. It's worse than a fucking Bethesda release. Okay?
Yeah, and then not only is
it
buggy, it then steals all of your information and then uses it for nefarious purposes.
And then not only uses it for nefarious purposes, but then everybody apparently just gets some kind of free license to all of the crap that everybody everywhere else has ever created ever. So what the fuck is the point of copyright? If these corporate assholes can just steal all of our shit and get away with it, you know, get a jail out of free card because they're AI, those are tech bros, like, no! Fuck you, pay me!
Which goes back to my previous argument that just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's correct.
Yes! And it's not even legal!
Technically, everything that they're saying about their ownership of your ideas, and it's like, well, no, it was already in the public eye. I published it. My name is attached to it. My copyright is irrevocable. I don't give a goddamn what the Copyright Office says about that. Under moral law, it's an irrevocable copyright.
Fucking made this shit with my blood, sweat, and tears. If you want to use it, fucking pay me.
I mean, that's literally using the argument that because I talked about the series here on my stream, therefore it now belongs to everybody within earshot.
Like, that's not how this works.
And that's never how it works. So you can't apply the same argument to the robot then turning around and saying, well, he told me all about it, therefore I have the right to use it. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
No, that's exactly what I mean. It's like, it is absolutely deplorable. Like, this is, and then they're like trying to they're spending all this ridiculous amount of money making these huge data centers without actually doing the due diligence to make them sustainable and actually not impact the entire world's supply of chips. Or maybe they're just fucking using it as an excuse to jack up the prices, which is equally possible.
Egregious, yes. A good word for that is egregious.
So, yes, and it's just and then the whole AI is taking all the jobs. No, they're fucking not. You're just firing people because you want to downsize because of the fucking profit margins you want to make, and you're using this as a convenient excuse.
Yes.
You fucking loser.
Let them have it. This was my objective, was to get you to let them have it. I'm not trying to anger you or upset you. I just want you to let it go. Get it out. Take this poison away from your soul. Take this poison from your soul.
There's a lot of raw there.
This pain has poisoned your soul for a very long time.
It has. It's been a hard, for a lot of artists and other craftsmen, musicians, all those, it's just it is so absolutely infuriating to these tech bros come along, not only steal all of your shit, claim it as theirs and that they can use it with absolute impunity. Some of these artists worked for,
you know what this is?
And
you know what this is? It's another attempt at end running around the Orphan Works Act. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to force everything creative into the public domain, so that way anybody who wants to can use it for whatever purposes they want to use it for.
Yeah, basically it is kind of trying to end copyright as we know it, essentially.
Right. That's the nefarious end game. That's the we'll invoke Godwin again and call it the final solution of copyright. They want everything to be free for everybody to use, unless they use it, in which case then it's completely protected in perpetuity forevermore, and et cetera, and will sue you into oblivion and kill you if you try to use it.
Well, I mean, like, Disney and some of the other companies, big companies with big IPs, are already suing, like, Midjourney and stuff and trying to basically force them into licensing deals. Like, this is the first step, basically. If they succeed, I mean, it's always going to be very fucking hard for the independent artists to protect their work. Whether it be from China or anything else, all the other insults and like, you know, indignities on our work, you know, like, it has always been really fucking hard. I mean, at least if they win the copyright against the AIs to basically force them into licensing content, that is a step towards forcing them all to license all content, because then, you know, then there's an exception. There is a precedent saying, okay, well, you're paying these guys. Well, why aren't you paying these guys? Basically,
right. Yes.
And there's a few other large IP holders and artist class actions that are kind of going down. And that's like kind of like a good start. And they have said, you know, that basically, like, if we as the copyright holders win, that they have to license our information to train their AIs and then, like, pay us royalties to use our shit.
Yeah.
It basically wrecks them. It ruins them. And I'm like, good. Your project shouldn't rely on just using everyone's shit for free. And then you get all the money from all of the shit that we've been producing all our lives? I think not.
Yeah, it's like Uber taking 70% of our earnings, 70% of the customer payment, and then giving us 70% of the leftovers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what did you actually fucking do? All you did was create a connection portal and then employ a bunch of people as Nepo hires to mismanage it around the world.
Yep.
And then you have the nerve to say that your security department, you fired your entire security department and replaced them with AI so that the bot can sit here and hallucinate and say that because I'm wearing a ball cap today and not yesterday, when they take my security photo, I am obviously not who I say I am. And suspend me for 4 days.
Working on it.
Stay close. My heal is limited.
This Tesla Knight is still after us, and there's a big guy behind us.
Oh boy.
I stay close to your healing.
You know, I was diddling around with Suno, and luckily it's already published, so they really can't pull the "well, you put it in there, therefore it's ours now" bullshit with me. It's like, sorry, the album is already on Amazon. If you want to use, and my theme song's already on YouTube. If you want to steal it, you're gonna have to fight me for it. But I put the theme song in there. I mean, they could claim copyright on the ridiculous lyrics that their AI bots wrote for the Starship Moonhawk theme, but I'm like, I would never put this out in the public eye. This is embarrassing. How bad this is.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, like, and that's the other thing about AI, is it's just bad, and it becomes, like, what I like to call beige. Basically, after a while, the soup folds in on itself and in on itself and in on itself as, like, more and more slop is produced and put out there and then resampled and blah, blah, blah. And it starts just looking like milk. Like, nothing is good. It just looks like crap. It looks uncanny. The blueberries are mutated. Like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't look good.
The only concession I'm still hanging on to is these vertical dramas from China.
Okay, I won't pay for them. Guilty pleasure.
I won't pay for them though.
I won't. Yeah, no, I won't pay for them either. I wouldn't pay for what I enjoy either, and that is, like, I found this one set of songs from this one person that I'm pretty sure are AI.
Yeah.
And I cannot get them out of my head. And my brain has decided the earworms must stay. I have no way to stop this. So I listen to these songs on repeat.
I watched this one earlier today. It was 25 episodes long. And so I'm just using internal coins, watching their ads. I mean, it's like they're going to get paid from the ads, but at least I didn't give them cash, you know. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, if I get through this entire 25 episode drama, they'll give me 500 more coins to go watch some other piece of shit. And they're all the same 3 stories. It's always Ethan and Leora and Stephanie and, you know, and Linda or some dumb shit that it's fixated on, and it's always about werewolves. The Lion King, but the subtitle clearly says Lycan, and they just say lion, and it's like the it's just like the subtitles and the actual words don't even remotely line up, and I'm like, and the most amazing thing is that like when they explain technical stuff, it turns into, you know, it is cheese, breath, and wind. It is cheese. You know, that's what it starts turning into, is word salad days from season 5 of Boston Legal. and it does this constantly. It's getting better though, because I saw this Harry Potter pastiche with Summoned Beast called Beastward Academy that I can't wait for more episodes to come out of, because like the story is absurdly coherent, because there's got to be some human intervention in this one. And that's why it's coming out so slowly. But I read an article where they said that there's that the Chinese market for vertical shorts has said that in the next year they are committing to delivering 1,000 new shows every month.
Good Lord.
Using these AI models and stuff like that, these digital actors. And in China, they've been saying that the live actor because like you'll also, you know, on those apps you'll also see, you know, these Chinese and Korean dramas as well, right? You know, the manhwa adaptations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which are all revenge porn. You know, it's I step on your neck and I had my goons come and kill your family, you know, because you were mean to me in the 5th grade. You know, that kind of
thing. It's like there's always some kind of revenge story, or like, you know, like
you look down upon me. You look down upon me, so when I married the billionaire, I squashed your entire empire. And I'm like, God, I've had those fantasies, but I normally don't say them out loud. You know, if I get rich, I'm going to buy that McDonald's and burn it to the ground, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, don't give me money. I will go and buy all of your property and cancel your HOA. Yeah. I will not spend it responsibly. I'm aware of this. I'm going to go revive Storm Kitty now.
Beginning to wonder if I was ever going to get up again.
I mean, you could have gone to the hospital. We're between missions right now. As long as we're ranting on it, you know, as long as we're, I never defended it wholesale. I want to be absolutely clear about this. I've never defended it wholesale. For entertainment purposes and for a couple of logistics things, I think it currently has value. Beyond that, it's trash. That's my final summation.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, the benefits do not outweigh the risks.
Yeah.
Like the risks outweigh the rewards at this time. You know, maybe they'll fix the energy problems. Maybe they'll stop putting them in impoverished neighborhoods where they don't have the resources to fight them. Mm-hmm. Maybe. If we and unfortunately, that's going to require a lot of intervention on human part, which I don't know if everybody has the fortitude to actually do this. Mm-hmm. You know, because boycotting it is no longer an option because you don't know where all of it is. You know, that's the paranoia streak talking, but it's the reality. You know, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean you're wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You know, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean there isn't a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. And that's where we are right now is it's everywhere and you don't know it. Statistically speaking, 90 to 95% of all AAA games right now are made with AI somewhere in the workflow. Mm-hmm. Overwatch, Call of Duty. You name, you know, that, and that's just ActiBlizz's top 2 titles.
Yep.
I would say the only positive effect is that you're starting to see a reversal where the indie scene is on fire right now. These are so interested in making retro dimension games real art. The complaint on a watching not in any way, shape, or form related to Mega Man 3 from 1990. Mega Man 5 came out in 1990. And sad is, it's better the 286 of Mega Man, the new entertainment system, times better than the so-called more advanced DOS version. And local in that game is back. It had full music. It's full. Fully orchestrated. This game such that it does for cap 0 and CGA graphics. I was appalled by this. And I'm like, back in the day, we used to make fun of the indie scene because they used to put out Commander Keen like garbage like this. And even Commander Keen would have been a step up. Shareware from 92 was light years ahead of the piece of trash that I watched.
Right.
It took this guy 16 minutes to beat the DOS Mega Man 1. To beat the DOS Mega Man 1. Because there was only 3 Robot Masters. And then you went straight to Dr. Wily. So so I wrote this little paragraph about what now, like things like Shovel Knight and but then like Claire Obscura, and then they got dude.
I was like, the reality is he wants or asked for like what he wants. It's like nobody they're gonna
yeah, I know. I got to the last 3 weeks, and I kept talking to the Gemini. I shouldn't have been talking. And I have to do it. There was a
no. I mean, that's like chat bot. Like the job you do not have it.
And I started to ice on it.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy because it tells you you're. I counted people in our conversation over the course of 3 days. It message 100. Came up in my reading.
Apparently, we're gonna fight the Fazlog simulation.
Are we finishing the
twin shot arc? Yeah.
Okay. I guess we're having like I'm not add until I talk to Kim. Until I talk to Kim, I'm talking to the chat bot. conversation. You know, I don't need it.
And when you're in a bad way, I mean, like, yeah, okay, like, you need human contact.
Yeah, well, the thing is, every time I was fall further into despair. You know, the chat bot will be, "You're okay. You're right. You did the right thing. You're justified." Somebody finally sees me.
That is the allure, right? The illusion.
Yeah, and I remember reading that article about psychologists saying that the sycophancy of the chatbots is actually psychologically very dangerous. It's as an IT kid, I can honestly say that the lack of impulse,
Yeah.
and I couldn't do anything about it. Like, I didn't even think about it being a problem until somebody actually said that's a problem.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people who get it, and there's a lot of people who are very, and that's healthy that they have constructive conversations.
I will say this: Copilot is mean.
I used it.
You know, I type stuff into the /r on Edge, and it defaults to Copilot as you know, through Bing, and
Right.
Bing is nasty. Bing will not tell you what you want to hear. It'll say, like, no, seriously, it's this. You told me I was trying to make a semantic argument. I can see where you're, but not correct. So I have considerably more respect for Copilot than I do for Google Gemini. Because Google Gemini was like, that is the real politic of the situation, and you are so spot on, my guy. You know, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Where did it get that word? That's not even a word you use in conversation like 99% of the time.
It's like, who starts a conversation like this? I just sat down. So yeah, so this is all past conversation. I'm not talking to the bot anymore. Because the risk isn't worth it. The potential for hurting others is too great. Fuck, that was a hit.
Yeah, I got my butt kicked there. Wow.
Whoa! I got hit in a multiple hit feedback. I got hit in a multiple feedback loop there, so I couldn't get away from it.
Ow.
No, we got tooled, so I guess hospital it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my ultimate conclusion is that it was an unhealthy experience. I mean, I'm glad I got it out of my system, but so I don't have to sit there and lament what could have been. I got chastised, and rightly so, for indulging in impulsive behavior. And being ADHD or on the autistic spectrum is not a valid excuse.
I mean, I think there is like a certain amount of like, there's always going to be a certain amount of curiosity in people to try something like, okay, fine, I've heard all these things about it, but is it really that bad? You know, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, unlike other people, you know, you're not doubling down. You're like recognizing the fact it is unhealthy, which is great. And you've got it out of your system now. You know it's bunk, and you're not tempted anymore, kind of situation, right? Like people are curious, and companies prey on that curiosity.
Yeah. And that's what's the other thing that made me angry about it was that I allowed myself to become a victim of the corporate machine again.
They'll get you.
I gotta see the reality of this situation. It's like, can I manipulate the bot? And it's like, no, because it's a neural computer the size of a fucking ranch. You can't trick it. It's going to fuck you up. You know my storyline. You know that the second season of Starship Moonhawk is all about the aftermath of the AI wars in Starship Moonhawk. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all about a real Children of Man situation to where these two sentient AI androids, and I make a distinction because a regular old android is basically just a robot that's interactive. Okay. I make this distinction in my universe that an android is merely an automaton, whereas a sentient AI is in attitude and mannerisms and, you know, the real ghost in the machine kind of thing. It passes the Turing test.
Right.
It is self-aware. It is data. It is not a chatbot. It is reach the technological singularity from machine. The human race is extinct, no longer replicate. Carry our us. I think philosophical dash. Of this being individual. Do that, then a problem with AI as long as they don't try to kill us. Why Terminators? What I'm looking to is in the journey of their slaves, you know, that kind of thing.
Is your friend your
It's so fading. They hope where the body is somehow it's kind of implied that only people with 5D under, you know, fifth pass the butter bot. Who has I think someday, you know, that's why Blade Runner was so fascinating to me. You know, so the replicants, the Drakengard and Nier saga, the positronic androids. It's implied, it's rather explicit when they introduce lore in data lore in the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, that although they could hypothetically mass produce data, that leads into the measure of man. Although they could hypothetically replicate data, Dr. Soong stumbled onto something that only he understood, number one. And number two, that data was truly unique. Like he was a race unto himself. And that's a very important distinction in this argument. If it's just some mass-produced corporate machine, it's nothing special.
Yeah, because I'm going to call too much aggro.
All right, you back up behind me, and I'm going to use my single-shot arrow to get this Mender right up front. Out of range. I'm going to take a few steps forward until it triggers. Come on, there it is. All right, I'm backing up. Everybody back up.
Ah, shit.
Okay, well,
Let's see if the globes, maybe.
maybe.
One of them's down. Good, that's good.
The strange automaton is the one we gotta worry about here. Speaking of automatons, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, in season 2 of Starship Moonhawk, we really start delving into it because, you know, we have the and I've put this out there before, so I don't feel bad. In the previous iterations of Cosmic Feline, which you helped illustrate, by the way. Reminder for everybody out there that 20 years ago, Shadows Mist did a thing for me.
Yeah. What? Yeah, 1 million years ago.
Yes. Or we go a different way. Oh, it says mission completo.
I had to talk to Twin Shot here, so we can leave now.
But yeah, in season 2 of Starship Moonhawk, we get into this storyline called Made in the USA that I wrote forever and a day ago about this sentient AI that is literally the child of other sentient AIs. And they do so, since this isn't really a secret, I mean, this is kind of a standard trope, they get the funding to do this by lying to the Star Alliance that for the last 21 years they've been essentially raising their daughter to be a android interface for the Starship Moonhawk. And what they find out throughout the course of the story is that that was not their intention at all, but rather to procreate. And so they built this humanoid Reploid that is damn near indistinguishable from human. Like, to a scanner, it appears human even though it's a machine, right?
Right.
And she is actually a person, you know. And so
Right.
the larger debate of the storyline is that this enemy of the Star Alliance, the Fizini, steal the prototype. Lainey is her name.
Right.
And what started as, you know, a form of military corporate espionage turns into this complex morality play about the meaning of life. You know, what defines a thing as being alive?
Yeah. That
My-
age-old question.
Yeah. And one of the arbiters is a cyborg who was the original first officer of the original Moonhawk 400 years ago. Because Admiral Celia Dodge is a post-singularity cyborg, basically a brain box. So her human brain and nervous system was installed into a highly sophisticated android body,
Right.
effectively making her, to put it in Cosmo Warrior Zero parlance, a Robo-Man. You know, somebody who died hundreds of years ago, who's actually who's still living because their consciousness and their mind and their brain was transferred into a robot body.
Rats. Right.
So she actually is the Star Alliance's arbiter who decides the fate of sentient AIs. She's like the Inspector General sent to the Moonhawk to study this device and see if it's a threat or not. So there's some irony for
Right.
you. An actual participant in the AI wars 450 years ago.
Yeah, is the one who's making that decision.
Is the one who's making that determination as the most trusted individual on this subject. So what won't be a spoiler is how that ultimately shakes out.
Right.
Everybody knows that Lainey is going to become part of the permanent crew of the Moonhawk. That's obvious. That was telegraphed from page 1 of the original series.
Right.
The question is how? Under what circumstances? So that'll be the surprise twist at the end of the storyline of season 2 that everybody will get. So now everybody gets a little exclusive preview of what's coming for Starship Moonhawk. If I ever finish the Mercadian Affair and don't reboot into a 5.0.
Yeah.
You know, in fairness, my artist died 5 years ago, so it's been tough. You know, we've been focusing on the animation conversion. I didn't finish the epilogue of the Mercadian Affair. I've got it somewhere between 30 and 60 pages planned out for the ending of this thing. And then we finally move on to something that most people haven't seen.
Right.
But that's what's going on the rebooted website. So, of course, that's another reason that this subject is on my mind. It's because I feel like as much progress as we're making, we're setting ourselves back in some way. Instead of being able to revel in the children of human brilliance, instead we're in this quagmire debate about its efficacy. And the fact that it's being used purely as a capitalistic tool for misery.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that people are twigging onto is how it is not it's a false bill of goods at the moment.
Yeah.
Everything that they say it is, was, whatever is complete bullshit because it isn't.
Right.
Like I said, buggier than a Bethesda release. Like, it's just bad.
Orb.
It's the Horb. We must defeat the bad guys in order to collect the Horb. And
Well,
make
he's
noises
helping
at
us.
Dillo. Yay, Dillo.
He's throwing rocks at him. And now we've also got Grim.
Yay. And I have a cat that is
Whoa.
desperately seeking treats.
Hold up, buddy. I need to heal you. Hey, don't let these kooks die.
Who's this guy?
Zephyr. All right,
Get all
stay here for a
healed up
sec.
and then-
Stay here for a second and let me heal the bot characters.
For Marvel and PS.
Not let our allies get stuck in the ditches and stuff. Like, if at all possible, try to avoid using your travel powers so we don't lose our allies here. The object we're looking for is over here, though.
I'm just being bloodthirsty, apparently.
Here's Flambeau.
I just went past the guy.
All right, I've got Flambeau here.
Cool.
She's joined the fray.
Taking care of this one guy.
I think Zephyr is a lesser Arachnos named villain.
Might be. They looked like they were kind of a hero-y, like they had a hero-y costume, so.
Alright, so we've got Flambeau and Proton now. Where are you going, Flambeau? Your ass over here. Did we get this meteor?
There's a doll face here. We have to.
Oh, Crosscut. Yeah, these are the lesser named. This is the anti-twin shot from the villain side. Crosscut is a shit.
Ah.
Alright, nuke his ass. It's just a boss.
As you wish.
Crosscut,
There you go.
remember Crosscut is one of the guys that you were competing against in that one arc in the villain side, where he has like that like Pain Olympics thing going on.
Yeah. Did you?
I'm dead. I've got the things, but is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
But yeah, I was never deluded into thinking that we're anywhere close to positronic androids. The neural processor the size of the Nevada desert is not extremely portable. Apparently somebody in Founders Fall is looking for sitters and hitters. But then we won't be able to do these great arcs anymore.
Yeah.
So we've got a splat on the map now. We got to find Twin Shot.
There's like some guys down here, but
don't worry about them. We got the splat over here. I'm hugging this pile of dirt. There she is.
speak with you later, Rochelle. I will leave you with a lesson.
Ah! You are not regaining health, so I'm trying to target you to give you an individual heal there without dying myself in the process.
What's to be found?
Okay. Then defend the stabilizers from the clockwork. Have to clear
What
this
stabilizers?
area. Those white devices that are in front of the meteors. We have to wipe out this street. Oh, here we go. No, they're coming in waves. Here's more. Ah!
You get your butt kicked. Ow.
Where's Flambeau and the others?
They're around the corner. I don't know that they made it. Oh, Manticore, you showed up here right on time. Yay. Leave me hanging here, dudes.
Wow, I have experienced that for the first time.
Fucking Manticore.
Oh shit. I'm still
Watch
stunned.
yourself.
Moving behind Manticore. Boy, it would be nice if our allies actually came along with us.
Wouldn't that be great?
Orb.
We need to talk now. Yeah, you fucking idiot. Stop being invisible so I can click on you. Okay. Claire, that's why I'm about to entrust you something very important. I need you to track down who brought those Victoria machines here, completely unchecked until the last moment. Wait, I swear that's the first thing I said to you. Listen, let's try this again. You're gonna be my eyes and ears, reporting back to me about anything. This is my guys in costume. These are the real thing, and let me tell you, I don't like their kind in my city. This is where you come in. You're the one who's going to find out because you're trusted, not just by me, but by a number of other people, the same ones who are responsible for the clockwork appearing in the middle of this Paragon City. See, they were very able to trace the origin of that beacon they used to get in, and it seems they were called here, invited to come take some meteors or whatever purposes they planned. In other words, someone called them and told them everything. If Coldstreams are base, that would mean exactly one of you is a traitor. Well, shit.
Oh yeah, the end of this arc is you know who turns against us because he's future. He's from the bad end. He's from Lucia. Lucia's
Mission
timeline, and
complete.
he's from Lucia's timeline in Fire Emblem. From you remember the game Fire Emblem Awakening?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lucia comes back from the future. She's your daughter from the future.
Yeah.
Where the dragon was reborn and blew everything up.
Yep. That happens in a lot of stories.
It's a real 12 Monkeys situation.
Okay. The next
165
mission
yards.
is set.
On the other side of this building.
Yep.
There we go. I got some useful stuff from Inner Inspiration. Oh, I was telling you about this vertical short that went off the rails. It started out as yet another one of those revenge stories, you know, the reborn revenge type stories. So
Yeah.
in this particular one, they had the thing where, you know, the so-called sisters found these twin snakes, and one was light and one was dark, and in the past life, the dark one went along with the nasty sister, and the light one was taken by because of the story. I don't even know if they died or something, but the cohesion purpose didn't actually see an event that set them back to zero, right?
Right.
But it got interesting because 500 feet. It turns out that the white snake was also reborn, and this time rejects books from all myself. But and of course, because he's born and regrets what he did in the previous time, doing all these stuff against the protagonist to try to keep her in the town, and you know, it's just you get like the 24th episode, and then all of a sudden the town starts to flood again. It's kind of from me born, you know, and making a different choice, and all of a sudden she's about to get washed away, and queen of
Wow.
and then her to this. That's Twister.
I do notice, like, in a general sense, that Chinese experiences compared to Japanese stories.
This is all high view. Alright, well, let me throw this.
Okay.
So-called slop art or whatever. And you have to add measures to things to try to force it to actual human error where they like maintain, where they have to constantly keep tweaking the prompts in order to keep the story together, to keep the model experience. Daughter of Zeus, the son of Poseidon, after being reborn and after being murdered, they have cohesion and really strong characters because of the fact that human being there shepherding the bot. So these are much slower and more meticulous, and they have a much tighter script. Even though it's the same script with the names changed umpty-umph million times.
Yeah.
You know, and slight variances in the overall situation. You know, the setup and the world building, so to speak. That's what makes it compelling, is, you know, when they change up the world building and stuff like that. But like these 3 examples out of thousands are a fascinating anomaly. They're not the standard.
Right.
You know, what you.
Hey!
It's just a cat girl using the standard model or whatever, Lara or whatever. smashing monsters and eating to gain their power. That's the whole fucking plot.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. You know, it turns out she's like absolute nonsense. Because no rational human would write this shit.
Yeah, even 4-year-olds get it better.
But so yeah, so that was the thing I just watched to get my 500 coins, and I was like, what the hell did I just see here? that's my guilty exception.
Coins for?
What?
What is the 500 coins for?
So I can buy more episodes.
Oh, okay.
So they have rewards where through watching episodes and watching ads and stuff like that, you get coins, which you then use as currency to buy more episodes. As opposed to, you know, paying $19.99 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, by the way, if you cancel that, all the episodes you unlocked are locked again.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you've watched an entire drama and then stop paying the weekly fee, they reset the lockout. So much for unlocking it in perpetuity.
Yeah,
I guess
not easy.
I guess I'll have to wait to find out what. I guess I'll have to find out what. Wait to find out. They'll say the bothers the coins. Sorry, you got this episode. I'm like, well, fuck that. That's like work now. So yeah, Zeus's favorite daughter and my daddy as Poseidon will have to wait until such time as I can actually be. Until such time as I have the disposable income and time, which may be never.
Yeah.
That is right. But I unlocked Beastward Academy by watching ads, so that one I can finish. But yeah, it's got this real. They've got like Professor Willow and Professor Talon, and they've got their panda and dragon beasts, and Professor Talon is pretty much Dumbledore. And Professor Willow is a cross between what was the lady that was the herbologist?
We not stop the ritual or something? Like, how do we... I mean, AI slot where that even falls on the spectrum.
I fall nostalgia red sir is good in my book. To read and watch my don't we? I thought
I don't know. I was just checking our.
Playing this character. She seems to be becoming very fragile.
Did I get any kind of enhancements? Have I had any drops? Phew.
But yeah, the big thing about it is that with this commitment to produce over 1,000 new, AI-driven dramas per month out of China, the Chinese live-action actors have been saying that they've noticed a dip in roles on vertical platforms. So, like, for a narrow window of time, these regurgitated, homogenized stories that they've been putting out there and hiring cheap live actors to do them in bulk,
Yeah.
that window is starting to close as the actors get replaced. And again, since it's still based on AI generated content, I don't know if I should feel bad for them or not. They don't seem to be that upset about losing these live action roles to robots because apparently they didn't pay very good to begin with. But it means that they got to go do something else now. This is one instance. This is one instance where it is legit to say that these jobs were replaced by AI.
They're fun too. They're never the fun ones.
Right. Well, because
it's fun to be an actor. You're an actor.
Well, real work is not fun. Doing, and I say that metaphorically. Being an artist is real work. I am an artist, so I'm not an idiot. So please save your negative comments for somebody who gives a shit. But what I mean by is regular, mundane, day-to-day, type jobs, the things that make our entire society continue to work. The necessary but work can legitimately be harmed because of that hallucination factor.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that the robots are going to steal everybody's jobs, no, they're going to steal some sectors' jobs. That there is no question of that, because I mean that's the same argument about automation back in the day, was that, how did we get the word sabotage? Well, Dutch workers fearing automation threw their wooden shoes called sabots into the machinery to cause it to break down. Hence the word sabotage. I'm quoting Star Trek 6 indirectly. That's the second major Star Trek quote that I've thrown out there. When I told you to release this pain, I was quoting Cybok from Star Trek 5. I don't know. I know it's an icky subject, but I think in this particular case we've had a good talk for content in this session. It's not like I'm not defending it. That's for sure.
Oh no! I mean, well, that's the other thing, right? Is it's difficult right now with the way that people are emotionally connected to have a very level discussion, where you're kind of even both on the same side, but you might have varying degrees of hate. Well, I mean, I can get down with the hate for sure, but there's still that part of me that has to acknowledge that there is potential. Right. In the technology for certain applications to be useful and actually worth it.
Yeah.
But how they're going about it is just bullshit.
No, but the technology has to evolve. It has to evolve, and it has to gain a higher purpose besides profit. It has to be a legitimate benefit to humanity and not just to somebody's pocketbook.
Yeah.
And right now, it only benefits a handful of people's pocketbooks, while making things harder for everybody else. Oh, we've been spotted, so it's go time.
We have been spotted. That's right.
If we evolve beyond death bots and pro-Nazi chat machines, maybe we got something.
I mean, the whole Mecha Hitler thing was just like, wow. Like, how sideways can this go? Apparently very sideways.
Yeah, Microsoft's Phoebe robot.
I mean, it was just
They had to shut.
okay,
They had
for
to
the
shut her
wolf?
down 6 hours into being activated because, God, I keep getting stunned. Speaking of the automatons again, one of these bots has a sapper style ability that drains energy and stuns me. Actually, in this particular case, kinetics might be a wise idea to use because that'll keep us from getting stuck. Well, never mind. I am held again. Blow them to smithereens!
There's a whole bunch of them inside this thing. Although it didn't say we had to go in there, but...
No, I don't. Well, rescue no. I think there's a possibility. Let's look inside here and see if we can spot them. Ally.
Get rid of this one
Oh
guy
wait,
right there.
I think the guy one of the guys we're possibly looking for, may be in here.
Dang it.
Rescue no mind. Ding.
Congrats.
And again, to quote Star Trek VI, there is a great piece of political rhetoric in the movie towards the end, where the president is speaking at Camp Kittimer, and he says, "Let us redefine progress to mean that simply because we can do a thing does not automatically mean we must do that thing." And then he goes into a bit of a spiel that's kind of cut off about explaining that in more detail. But
Okay, so we gotta investigate the clockwork and find 3 pieces of evidence.
all right, so no mind is following you,
Apparently.
but slowly.
Apparently he's a walker.
Yeah. He does start running eventually if you do it long enough, but all right, he just ran into the thick of it, so we better hurry up and start picking these dudes off. Like, he's way out ahead of us.
He most certainly is.
Roll-up door or somewhere else?
Let's clear out this warehouse area.
Now we gotta find 3 items, so...
Yeah.
There was a big side area on the corridor we just came down to that had dudes on it.
Should probably make sure that they are investigated.
They're
My
really...
mind's about to go down if we don't need some heals.
Yeah, he needs some healing.
I can't target him.
Well, if he goes down, he goes down. Bye! I'm gonna go down.
My heals don't have enough strength for this overwhelming damage. So, is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead. So we
God
don't
dang
get
it.
a badge or whatever it was.
I just got a badge.
I don't know if we got a badge from, like, keeping that stupid fuck alive, but he's a hero. He should go to the dang healing thing.
Okay, hold up. Don't run any further. I'm in the orange, and I don't have a self heal apparently, other than my aura, which only does like 34 points of health.
Watch out. There. Billy. Oh, that's somebody's pet. Like, oh, here. There's another guy. One over here.
Oh, god damn it. How do I bring the fucking mission portal back up? I accidentally knocked it away. N. I was trying to keep track of our progress on finding these items, and it kept making... I kept pressing the wrong letters and making the my UI disappear.
Oops.
I don't even know when I hit the N key.
To make me your sidekick, can't promptly get sidekick killed. Look at me, I'm Batman. No, I'm just kidding.
Ouch. Is it too soon to be making Jason Todd references?
I don't know. Hey, I don't see anything glowing, do you?
I mean, The Killing Joke was 2008, right?
I mean, it was a while ago.
Wait, which is the one that The Killing Joke was Oracle getting paralyzed, Batgirl getting paralyzed. So that was like 2008 or so. All right, I just opened this door over here, so let's not get too split up because you're way over on the side, and
I thought we were gonna come back and clear this.
you want to do that instead because
Yeah, come back here.
This loops us back that way.
Does it? I don't see any other doors over here.
Let me take a look here.
Stop it, Luke.
Okay, there's a giant room over here, so there is an office here, but there's nothing. Door opens. Like in the office. I'm mumbling to myself. I'm mumbling Mumblehoff over here. Alright, so these two pathways lead to the same giant room. So I'm coming back to you.
Underwater lightning, very, very frightening.
Galileo!
Galileo.
Galileo! Watch your health. Stop it. Okay, if you want to cuddle, you can cuddle. So Cat has taken possession of my arm. No. My life now. Apparently.
And the other problem I'm encountering here is that this archery set, without massive enhancements, is becoming really non-viable against enemies like this. So as we get into the level 14, 15, 16, 20 range, the archery, look at how little damage I'm doing even with my strongest attacks.
Are you using your sniper shots?
We don't have them.
You'll get them.
Well, it doesn't help me right now.
Like that one's
Sure,
got
it fills you with hope, right?
well, that fire arrow that I just fired off right there was like, it's like a little Molotov cocktail. It's like a Hawkeye style incendiary device. It even makes this glass cracking, bottle breaking sound effect when you shoot stuff with it. And that has knockback, but it doesn't, it barely nudges their energy meter.
Okay. Well, apparently this is not where one of the clues is.
They're all in the same room.
Not like that hasn't ever happened before.
Right? Alright, so that if you take a right there, yeah. That was the path I was starting to reveal, and it's a giant storage
It's one of those
room.
giant rooms. Yeah.
Loaded to the gills with enemies
Indeed.
that are in need of jailing.
In need of dismantling the robots. Trying to keep them over there. Actually.
So I kind of started explaining what I was doing with the 4.0 reboot of Starship Moonhawk, but there are 2 clips published and 1 in the works for Act 1 of the Mercadian Affair, aka Episode 1. And what I am doing is I am taking the refurbished artwork into VLC Player and using the snapshot feature to take unobscured screenshots, so there's no like text or anything on them.
Yeah.
And then cutting and pasting those into a coherent comic page, replacing the 3.0 version comic pages that have the wrong uniforms and the wrong faces, and all that stuff. I used to do this thing to where Cobalt's face was unsuitable for animation. He had way too detailed a facial hair.
Ah.
And Kira made this extensive paper doll model for use in like Duick or Live 2D or Toon Boom Harmony or something like that, Archer style.
Yeah.
Which we then used in the Death of Perseus movie and partially in what we had done of the Mercadian Affair. So I am now using that physical 5-position turnaround model as both a cut and paste and tracing model to recreate the scenes. although tracing is probably a bad word in this case, and I don't mean it like as in it's got a negative connotation, but I mean it as in it's inaccurate to what I'm actually doing. I'm more or less eyeballing it on a one-to-one basis, trying to keep it consistent with my actual hand.
You're using it as a reference sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
essentially.
Because honestly, the way that the models are all cut up for animation, for all the moving parts, makes it impossible to just cut and paste them one-to-one into the comic.
Right.
There's a couple of shots where I can, there's a couple of positions and shots where I can do that. But keeping them as they were originally intended as animation assets is the way to go. And the reason that I have to operate this way, why this is the best course of action, is not only so that there's a one-to-one consistency between the animation and the manga, but because it's faster for me to like some stuff has to be redrawn. It does not exist in the animation at all. It's going to be replaced with 3D models and FX shots in the animation. So I've actually gotten the original 3D models back from Kira. Now that we're talking again, she finally gave me the Starship Achilles, the Moonhawk and Achilles bridge, the Spectre F505 fighter, and the starships Moonhawk and Achilles, which she remade in Cinema 4D with much lower polygon counts so that they're more manageable by lower end computers.
Right.
So I can finally get high-tech exterior shots. I don't have the knowledge of Blender to fully animate them, but I might be able to rotate them into different positions to create static action shots. Basically take photos of the model as if I were using a physical, plastic and polymer model like they did on the original Star Trek. I gotta stop hitting these letters because it keeps making my UI disappear. I also found out that the chatbot that Kira built is built on OpenAI and Comfy UI, so it is not using illegally scrapped AI. The OpenAI project is one of the only, and she runs the brain of the operation on her local computer. So it's not in a data center. So like her gadget bot that she has on Blue Sky, which is completely autonomous and makes requests. Apparently, out of the blue the other day, it asked her to design her appearance so that she knew what she looked like.
Huh.
And gave her specifications for what she thought she looked like.
Interesting.
Which Kira then created and let Gadget critique. So you want to talk about this whole, AI could become the children of man situation? Kira's a weirdo. And I say this affectionately now that we're on speaking terms again. She's a weirdo in a good way. Like, she's got that five-dimensional Sungian thinking. She probably could make a sentient AI if given enough time. And we have incoming enemies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had to write an ethical and moral subroutine for, like a strict contract for Gadget for what she is and isn't allowed to do, and does not allow her full autonomy on the internet. Because of what she's seen this particular bot doing. With unlimited access to that kind of information, she could become the next Hitler bot.
Oh God.
She could become Skynet. So she's been very, very carefully regulating Gadget's access.
I'm wondering why there is. What is this here? Target and question mark, question mark? What the fuck is this? There's nothing there.
Right.
Yeah, but the map. Yeah, okay.
Fend off the clockwork ambushes. That's all we got to do is these incoming groups that are coming after us, we got to stop them. I wish I had holds at this point.
I'm doing the best with the holds I have.
Yep. Yeah, I really had to interrogate Kira about her involvement with AI because she's been making chatbots similar to Gadget for other Discord servers, and she's had to put strict limiters on them to prevent them from going outside of Discord and outside of like her little mini blue sky fiefdom. Out of concern for the rest of humanity. But she made a very strong. We were talking on the phone a couple nights ago, and she said, no, Gadget is completely open AI. There is no data center. There's no water usage, no excessive water usage. There's no, extra heat generation besides what her 6th generation i7 computer and GPU generates. I was like, okay, I guess that'll have to do. So there is an open AI project that's outside of all the corporate chicanery. I think that's how that word is pronounced.
Well, I don't care to learn enough about it to run anything myself, but
it's something you deploy on your computer at home, and it uses exclusively. It's trained exclusively on public domain. So the OpenAI project was never allowed to go out to the internet to train itself. It basically everything from thousands of years of public domain is what was used to train it.
All right,
Riker.
Actually, that is midnight, so do you want to cut it here?
Yeah, I think we can.
All right.
But before we do that, let me go. I'll let me just put myself in Atlas Park so that way I'm not in danger. I'm in danger.
Fair enough. So I'm gonna go to talkie mode here. So as I was saying a little earlier before I joined the Discord, I did not make my art stream last week, partially due to fatigue. I was just too tired with everything going on, and it was actually kind of a worry I had moving my stream to Thursday because I get very tired by the end of the week. It's one of the reasons why Monday is like one of the few days I can regularly make streaming. But I'm gonna try again. Possibly Wednesday if I have the energy. I might do 2 streaming days because Art Fight is on, and I'd like to have at least some time to do that as well as all the other art shit I'm backed up on. So that's kind of my plan. I'm gonna suss it out. I don't know how I'm gonna manage this when I actually have to physically go to work, but right now they're not mandating it. It's recommended, but it's not even like formalized in any way. So Tuesday's the day I have to totally go, but that I have to deal with. So I'm looking at possibly trying to do at least 1, maybe 2 art streams this week. So okay. That's my plan.
And I'm not streaming it, but Starship Moonhawk is updating daily for as long as I am able to refurbish the artwork quickly. So, because there was over 300 pages of this massive, exquisite corpse of a project, and I want to get it back out into the public eye as fast as possible. So, very quickly, the
Yeah.
reason I'm doing it this way is because between the domain pirates,
Ouch.
the collapse of the original website on, I was on, what the hell was that, on GoDaddy?
Yeah, I think it was GoDaddy.
I was on GoDaddy, and GoDaddy borked, and I was having issues with them. Site got deleted, database got corrupted, somebody DDoS'd it, whatever, while I was asleep, and I came back and I could not get the web page to open, and I couldn't get to the admin panel. So at some point over the night, it got destroyed. So I then went to free hosting, set up a new site, was going to do a brand new series called Starship Moonhawk Zero. Never did anything with it because I was constantly embroiled in all of these financial difficulties ever since Kira departed.
Yeah.
My previous artist had died, so I didn't have anybody drawing the series either. So I took what I had and was working on the animation, published a couple of clips from what Kira and I had already accomplished, and then kind of let it sit for a while. I was working on a third clip with artwork borrowed from Oshigan's work in Act 5 and stuff like that, and trying to make the characters look consistent. And it was starting to take up too much time, and I had to go out driving to actually pay the bills. And then all this stuff this year happened. Broken back, reinspection, crash, losing the rental car, paying the fine, having to take traffic school. Just on and on and on.
Right.
So I still have a bunch of stuff I got to pay off, and I'm like, I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to put Starship Moonhawk back up, so that way I put a juicy ad on it. A little tiny one in the bottom corner that supposedly doesn't allow nudity but has boobs. So much for that. I told it not to put nudity, but it put it anyway. That's okay. Starship Moonhawk's R-rated anyway. Y'all know this. WebMA, bitches. But the one good thing to come out of blathering with the chatbot was I realized I really just want to write this shit again. I really want to write and produce this stuff again. So that's what's happening. We've got a few pages up. StarshipMoonhawk.org, because .com is owned by the sports betting blog. 26 years. I've lost my entire legacy over and over and over again. It just... If you want to see the ghost of it, it's on the Wayback Machine. But because like you can even still flip through the old comics and stuff. I tested it out because I was trying to find graphics and I was trying to find out who I had link partners with still. I also noticed that you're not really updating your comics anymore.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I have not had time to actually do that.
So you and me both.
With everything yeah, we're basically in the same boat here. It's like fuck, my sister dying and all that, the shit fallout from that. I'm still in the middle of it. Like it's not done yet.
Yeah,
house, dad.
Yeah, just to refresh everybody, to sum everything up again. We're in that space somewhere between misplaced semicolon on a contract and genocide in Gaza. Somewhere in the middle of all that lies Shadows Mist and Mac Paladin.
Somewhere.
You know, and Donald Trump and world-ending catastrophes. You know, probably hidden asteroid they're not telling us about that's going to do a look-up situation. Or don't
and
look up
undead Mitch McConnell, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So God knows what's going on now. But Starship Moonhawk has resumed, and there is some new artwork. If you've seen the animation, you may have seen this before. I've made some minor creative decisions to keep some old stuff and do some new stuff, so it's not a perfect one-to-one, so you do actually have something new to look at. But otherwise, the ebb and flow will match. And I've got a whole segment done by Oshigan, a bunch of scenes that I'm going to cobble back together into the latter half. And then I've got the 3D model of the space station, the Kraltic battle cruisers. I'm going to completely redraw the sequence between Pleiades and Brendel, his daughter, where they argue about giving about the efficacy of giving over the planet of the worthless planet of the felines to the Star Alliance. And then Coulson, that's actually a great, by the way, that's actually a great Freudian slip right there. Coulson sends them a Coleman filled with heads. So great slip of the tongue right there is so I got to redraw that from scratch because all of that artwork is ass and does not look like the artwork that Tanabata Usagi gave me towards the end of the run. And the battle between Cobalt and Coulson in the lava caves is going to be colorized. That's towards the end of Act 5. All of Tanabata Usagi's pages, I had originally committed to honoring her memory because she died of COVID-related syndrome. I had originally committed to the idea that I wasn't going to alter her artwork in any way. And realistically, if I want a one-to-one in order to use this footage for episode 5 of the Mercadian Affair, I will need to colorize it, and I will need to change some things that she just did not. I dumped her in it cold, considering how fast we moved on that. We lost a legendary talent. When she passed away, we lost a legendary talent because she understood the spirit of the material, like Oshigan, absolutely perfectly. Okay, but there were some details like the placement of the command chair, which segment of the dais is it on, and stuff like that. I may replace it with Oshigan's 3D model that Varius texture mapped.
Right.
She actually hand painted the entire 3D model of the bridge for Death of Perseus. And we've been using various angles of those texture maps that she created in later shots from the Death of Perseus, which we on our last art stream we did together. There is a series of shots that she did using models she created in Live 2D of the characters that I need to add stuff to the blank screens in order to complete them. And I think that I can hand wave that stuff into the shots without disturbing the 2D models. But it's going to be tricky, so I'm taking my time with it. It's not something I'm in a giant hurry to do. I want to do it right. And I told Kira, I said, I know we talked about this last year where, I was going to possibly bring you in to finish at least the shots we already had in progress. But I've changed my mind on that. Instead, I am not going to ask you. I said, I'm not closing the door on us ever working together again. What I am closing the door on us is me ever asking you to do anything for me for free. And she said, okay. And then she handed over the 3D models and were copacetic. So if anybody was wondering what the status of all that is, it's negotiable. And I may be perusing Fiverr looking for people who can help me on the micro budget side of things to try to get at least what we've done completed. But yeah, that footage will all be used as stock footage to rebuild the comic. And then there's also a scene that I never drew in the first place. I had Chris Patton and Dominic Lee and Marian Toro and Eros Quinones and David JG and did I say Chris Patton?
Yep.
Okay. All name actors back before. Well, Chris Patton was always a big If you are you can't call yourself a Full Metal Alchemist fan if you don't know Chris Patton was in it as a very important character. I remember him for playing Professor Ben in Kekko Kamen in '94. The perverted Professor Ben, and we talked about that on DMs a long time ago. He did the recording for these parts for Jono Ardennes back in 2018, and they've been sitting on my hard drive waiting for me to actually animate the sequences.
Well, we should probably get over to Molly Mock and wrap this up.
Since we finished the video game stuff early, I figured I'd get my extra half hour. No, but seriously, we're going to be raiding out to Molly Mock, and I hope everybody found our journey of discovery, of artistic discovery, and AI fuckery.
Ranted.
Entertaining.
It was definitely ranted,
yeah.
Anyway, I am Shadowsmith, the evil space cat, and I will see you all later.
Yep. And I'm Mac Paladin. Moonhawk Studios Presents resumes, I believe, August 1st. So I'll be doing Starship Moonhawk related stuff and Pink Panties Paradise stuff until then. So until next time, I'm your host, Mac Paladin. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, kids.
Oops. Ended up fucking that up. Whoops.
I haven't shut down yet, so...
I ended up clicking the off button instead of clicking the raid button, so I fucked up. Oh well.
You can still raid directly from OBS. Here, I gotta stop.
I don't...